Well, I thought I was going to bring you back cutting that piece up, but I figured, well, it's going to be a rainy day fill-in. In other words, when I get a rainy day, you guys are going to get this movie. Or a day that I just don't get a chance to make a video, show you cutting up the slabs. Normally I like doing it the other end of the mill, but these things are so big and heavy, and I'm just going to do them here and let them drop and rock. Don't take too long. They're heavy. That's why I'm doing it. I don't feel like dealing. I guess we'll bring you back here. long did it take me to cut that up? What's the timer say here, guys? We are at, took me 6 minutes to cut that up. Now it's going to take me longer, probably, to go put it over in to that basket. So, plus I got to move what's up there. This thing here is junk wood. That could be cut up. I guess I'll do that while I'm here. That just goes straight in the fire. This is some nice bonfire wood here, guys. And it'll burn even though it's wet. That didn't take too long. We'll put, I don't know where you guys are at in the camera. We'll put this over here. That's all bonfire wood. This is all bonfire wood. That's why I don't cut wood. You got to get rid of this stuff. It gets in the way. Oh man, the door won't go shut. Can't pile it in if I can't get the door shut. I'll tell you what, wood dries nice in these racks, especially when it's randomly thrown in. Now you just pick it up and move it at ease. Woo! I guess I ought to put my mittens on because guess what? This is sticky wood. You know how I love sticky wood. But I'm going to take my eyeballs off. Normally when I'm back here doing this by myself, I have the radio going. But I don't today because for some reason you can't have the radio going at the same time you're videoing, or there's some kind of getting into somebody's rights to their song, which that doesn't, I don't know what that is. Don't really make a whole lot of difference. Man, you can't pick these up two at a time. They're that stuff's straight. If you ran that thing through a box wedge, you'd have some nice pieces of wood there. I don't really care. I just start a big fire in the front yard and burn it. Nathan does the right thing, just burn it all. He's a pretty smart boy down there. I don't know if you guys ever watched Nathan out of the woods. I figure if you're here, you've probably been there. Real good guy and a lot of good information. The guy knows more about wood than I do believe. I don't know nothing about wood except for sticky wood is sticky. That's about all I know. It's not as heavy as oak, I know that, so I guess I know a couple things. Then another good channel to watch, which you might be here because of him, which if you are, we're talking about Mark. I'm glad you stopped by from here after visiting him. Oh my goodness, this is a heavy one. See my heavy slab? I probably could have got another board out of that, but it doesn't make any difference because it's either wood one way or the other. If you burn the firewood up, I wish I had somebody who was interested in this stuff, but you don't down here. Down here, I imagine all anybody would ever want was oak. Gotta have oak, gotta have oak. But I got the oak and black walnut. That pile over there, I guess you can see it. I'll have to look to see if you can see it. Yeah, that pile over there, that's all oak and black walnut. I don't know if I'd want to be around a black walnut fire. Black walnut, got some kind of chemical in it that if you got any in your sawdust pile, horse people won't take it. Not that anybody takes any of my wood anyway. I should have stood these up. They dry faster standing up. I guess while I'm taking this, I had some guy, it was, I forget who it was, talking about hydraulics. I see a lot of guys are putting hydraulic motor drives on their carriages. And I think if you like to do that, I think that's the greatest thing you should do. I don't really care for hydraulics on the carriage on my situation. Okay, if you're in a booth like Mark, you have to have hydraulics because there's just no other way to fly. But the relationship, I can make that carriage go back 90 miles an hour, or I can feed it extremely fast, where with the hydraulics, if you don't have the proper setup, you can't do either. Because I've noticed a couple of them, they're pretty slow at coming back. So time is money. Now you do have the advantage that you're not going to have the sticky wood get on your belts and play havoc with them, but some of that problem is my own problem. If you watch me sawing, okay, the stroke on my stick, that doesn't sound too good, does it? Anyhow, the stroke is real short. I have it set real tight tolerances, so I only got to pull it 2 inches one way or push it 2 inches, maybe 3 or 4 inches, maybe even 6. I don't know what it is. I never measured it. But what happens is the sticky wood gets in there and takes up some of that play that I got, and makes it kind of difficult. It sticks and makes the carriage walk. So you don't want that. I mean, I got a real positive stop on it. I remanufactured that stop years ago, and I manufactured one like that for the new mill too, which is real good. When you let go of that handle, that carriage stops. Just that instant, that carriage stops. I keep meaning to make a video of it, what I did, but I can't find the parts. I can't find the parts that I need to make another one. But I need to make another one for that mill down at the farm park. So I think we're about ready to make a tower. We're going up now. I told you it'd take me longer to move this wood over there. I like sawing it down there at that end because the saw's on the right side. You can just go whap, whap, whap. You don't have to worry about putting your hand over the saw blade. But it just didn't happen this time. Woo, I'm down to a piece and a sliver. There's a nice piece of wood here. If I had I probably got it in there. Look at that. That thing's 4 inches thick. Gotta make a nice multi-piece. Look at that. That's about it. That goes to the bonfire. That piece there can go to the bonfire. I got a couple short ones here to go to the bonfire. These you can put in your boiler if you want. I'm not too fond of putting pine in the boiler, but I've done it. You know, when it gets super dry, I have pine that's been up there drying for, I don't know, since last year. So it's been up there drying for over a year. So it's probably pretty dry. Woo! The old man's wore out. Well, let me put the camera down. My bunks seem to be working pretty good. Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming by. And we're going to go null that up. I'll probably do it tomorrow. The wife had me unload the black truck with that Toro, which you guys haven't seen because this is going on tonight. No, this is going on a rainy day. Well, maybe by the time you see this, you'll have seen me unload that. I bought a Tower greens keeper for parts. It's got a lot of hydraulic parts on it. And if I wanted to make a different hydraulic feed for this or a hydraulic feed for that, it's got both axles have a hydraulic feed. If you want to buy one of those things, they're probably a few $100 used. So, and I might try to sell a few parts off of it, make a buck. Anyhow, where was I? I don't really want a hydraulic feed. I know I was talking to the they seem to be kind of and I think that's due to your engine RPM is, and you only got one speed. I don't think they're, I think the ones that I've been looking at are not using hydraulic spool valves or motor valves. I think they're using regular hydraulic valves, and there's a difference. So you can ease into it and feather the speed that you want. And I don't believe they're using that. So when you start going into it, it bogs the motor down. When you first go into it, it bogs the motor down because you're hitting it all at once, or you're not hitting it fast enough. If you know about hydraulics, you kind of figure what I'm talking about. So then that slows the motor down. Then they hit the log, and it gets slow into the cut somewhere along the line, and then the hydraulics slow down, and then the governor kicks in, speeds up, gets the cut through, and then goes fast. And then as the pump speeds up again, because it's running off the shaft most of the time, then it speeds up the shaft, which speeds up the fluid, which pushes it into the blade faster. And then the blade can't handle it, so it slows down again. So the pump slows down, then the feed slows down, so then it can pick up the speed. I think that's what's causing the choo-choo down the track. What else? Somebody was asking me something, and I meant to... Oh, somebody was asking me when I cut my slab or cut my trims, can I run slow speed? I can, especially in this this wood, but it makes a rougher edge when you do that. Sometimes I do it just so you can hear it and see it and talk and stuff like that. Normally, if I wasn't videoing 5 years ago, I would never do it. I just zoom through it on high speed. That motor really doesn't care much whether it's spinning at low RPM. I'm only spinning at 1800. I think idle's maybe 600. I have no idea. It really doesn't care the consumption rate on it. And believe it or not, that 4-cylinder has a higher consumption rate than the 6-cylinder on the other sawmill. Another person was asking me if I gave up on the sawmill in the front. No, I haven't given up on the sawmill in the front. That's been 16 years now I've been working on it, so I'm pacing myself. Every time I look at that thing, I see 2 other things that need to be done. Right now I'm just kind of waiting on getting all bunch of stuff out of the way, and then usually I get to working on that in the fall most of the time. That for some reason the fall's kind of my season, so that's probably when I'll start working on it, and hopefully I'll have it run. I got to change the rear main oil seal in the motor and then put the drive line back together. I still haven't come up with some kind of sawdust drag because I got to get the sawdust out of there. I got the vacuum, that big blower or sucker, I don't know what you want to call it, working on that. That's down at Jeff's. But I needed to get that up here, and that's what the white truck was for, but the white truck won't start, and I just got it back, and it's still not starting. So it just takes time. The sawmill that's not running goes on the back burner when you have a sawmill that's running. I should probably sell this one, and then I'd have to get that one going, wouldn't I? So anyhow, that's about it. A little bit of jabber, kind of fun. I got to go up and get cleaned up, download a movie tonight of sawing this log. No, I sawed that log already on the last movie. We ran out of time, so I'm going to put that on, and these are going to be all out of order. Like I said, this is going to be a rainy, a day that I don't make a movie, then I'll throw a banked video on, so you got something to watch. So thanks. Hit the like button. Yep, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of it. Let's see what else. Leave a comment if you got any comments or any questions. I try to answer them. Sometimes I answer them this way. I'm not a good typer, so sometimes my answers on the computer are kind of short, misspelled, out of order. They're kind of like my own hieroglyphics, I guess is the best thing to do. And if you put up with all the misspelt words, and sometimes the computer just spells the word automatically wrong for me, and it does me a favor. It saves me having to look for how to spell it wrong. So I'm glad you came along. We'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.